Well, I just got this knife in the mail, and it resembles my other one. It's a little bit longer, has a better grip and a better point for stabbing. And while I'm opening this, I want you to consider why I believe that the guy who did the Central Paris attack, who's wanted right now, is more righteous than America. Okay, and that ISIS, as an organization, as a group, if they were to be judged by me, and if it was my job to judge them, which it's not, I would say that they're more righteous than America, and I'll tell you why. ISIS lives by a philosophy in which they are trying their darndest to follow a religion, and not just any religion, a major religion in the world. There's a lot of things they do that I don't approve of, and I wouldn't consider them righteous. There's things I disagree about, you know, and from my understanding of Islam, I know a lot of other Muslims do, because there's a lack of care. This is interesting. This is green, white, and green. It looks like the Nigerian flag, right? And it's not really supposed to be. It's just a micro pack thing, okay? And I thought that's very interesting. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I think I'm going to tape that to the case in a way, you know, maybe like this or something. Okay? So I want you to consider that. Over 500,000 people are killed by American companies in Western countries alone through prescription pills. Then there's the GMOs and the fast foods and the cancers, diabetes, hypertension, high blood pressure, and so on and so forth. Not to mention the wars and the covert CIA manipulation. So easily America kills, you know, well over 1 million people a year through meddling and products, and, you know, especially if you add abortions. So when you consider everything, we are just bloodthirsty murderers. Americans rape more people than ISIS does. There's 180,000, you know, it came out in the Daily Mail, .uk, you know, pretty much mainstream media, did 180,000 sexual assaults in the military, homosexual sexual assaults, and 60,000 of them are forcible rapes. It's a little something to think about. Okay, some of you might say, well, why do you have this weapon? You know, this weapon is something, and I'm showing it to you, okay? I'm not hiding this. America hides what it does. That guy who's wanted, you know, for the Paris attacks, he had his fingerprints on the bomb. He didn't bother to wear, you know, latex gloves or some sort of a gloves, you know, because he knew what he was doing was the right thing, and that he faced his enemies as a warrior in front of everybody, doing what he did. I can't even make this video in my own room because they are covertly drugging me, okay? It's not something you could be mistaken about. When I come in here, you know, I can breathe easily. When I go in there, you know, it's horrible. Every night, you know, I wake up sore throat, chest pains, etc., etc. And I don't start thinking that maybe they're doing this before it happens. It happens, and then I say, oh, they're doing it again. Okay, so also I wanted to show you how this is something that, you know, I could easily go for, pull out, and now I'm in a position to quickly, you know, okay, and I can switch hands. Understand? Both hands. So, the top martial artist has to be able to readily apply combat skills. As I've mentioned a few videos back that I've released, that I'm injured, okay? I'm doing these demonstrations for the past 3 or 4 days now, injured, okay? I'm not gonna tell you how, but it affects specifically my martial arts, and obviously my upper body, because I didn't throw any kicks now, did I? It's not that I can't throw kicks, you know, I can apply them well. I can apply them as push kicks, push them back, pop kicks, you know, designed to cause pain, kick people in the jaw, what have you. thrust kicks as well. So, with everything considered, how could America be more righteous than this guy, this brave man who fought for what he believes? And it's always interesting in the news how Americans love to call these people cowards. The 9/11 hijackers, if they are who they are, regardless if they are who they are, Bush called them cowards, other people call them cowards. Not too many Americans have the heart to die for what they believe in, much less crash a plane into the Twin Towers. Okay, not many Americans have the heart to blow themselves up. Not many Americans have the heart to go against the most powerful countries in the world, to carve a caliphate out where they can be bombed. They don't. So when it comes to bravery, they beat us. When it comes for who's responsible for more evil, they beat us because they're responsible for less evil. When it comes to disconcerting or disturbing acts, they have less of them. We have more. We have the biggest prison population. They treat their caliphate in a way that people are less likely to do crime. You can argue about what is legitimate state-sanctioned crime, you know. Well, look how we treat the bankers and big pharmaceutical companies. Just look up all the lawsuits big pharmaceutical companies have settled. Off-label marketing, killing people, child experiments in foreign countries such as Pfizer and child experiments in Nigeria. These people experimented on children. And I'm still having to convince people that America never stopped covertly experimenting on people. When the same psychiatry pharmaceutical complex that was teamed up with the CIA and the Special Operations Division in the military, you know, is the same people experimenting on people here and abroad. When people go to a psych ward or mental hospital, frequently they're asked, you know, we want to know if you want to try this experimental drug. Sign this piece of paper. Even while I was there and I refused to sign that paper, the guy asked me, may I ask you why? You know, because he was very upset that I didn't want to be one of his guinea pigs. Later on, he said, you know, a different person said at a different time, can I scan your lungs for, you know, this study we're doing? And I agreed to that one. But experimental medications on people who just came to the psych ward, if you look at it from their point of view, this person comes to the psych ward with a mental illness. They're not themselves, but you're going to have them sign a piece of paper to give consent for them to experiment on them. I mean, that's sick, right? That's sick. And if I was to say, you know what, these people deserve a good punch in the face. They deserve to get stabbed in the fucking chest. You'd say, oh my God, he's a murderer. But when they murder over 500,000 people a year with psychiatric medications alone, you don't say nothing. When they experiment on little kids, where's the protest? Where's the protest against Big Pharma? Where's the protest against children experiments? Where's the protest against the abuse, the political abuse, the psychiatric abuse, the social abuse of political dissidents by people with legitimate power? So when you consider everything, how could you not come to the conclusion that ISIS and this Abdel guy, or whatever his name was, you know, I'm pretty sure that's not his name actually, but, you know, I have a lot of things that I study. But anyway, how could you not come to the conclusion that ISIS and these terrorists aren't more righteous than America? First, we got to look at motivations. And if you think that's ridiculous, well, why do we consider motivations in murder? First-degree murder, premeditated, second-degree, third-degree manslaughter, and so on and so forth, right? Why do we consider that if it's not a factor? If we consider what motivates them. A deep belief in God, and it's not just some random religion they made up. Okay, this religion has like 1.6 billion adherents in the world, 1.6 billion followers. Okay, to consider America's motivations: money, spreading the ruling class agenda under the guise of democracy. Yeah, we're going to give you the right to vote, but we're going to set the stage so that if you don't do it our way, you're going to be punished. If you really speak out, we're going to covertly experiment on you. We're going to assassinate you in some cases. You know, we're going to sabotage your life. Okay? You call that democracy? That's crony capitalism. That's a fake democracy. That's a hypocritical democracy. If it's for the people, then why do the ruling class get their agenda across every single time? So we want to spread our ruling class imposed, social control on the entire world and say that we're freeing them. We're putting them in bondage under the same auspices of the same domineering control freaks who control us. This kind of corporate capitalism, this corporatism, this authoritarian corporatism that pushes its agenda on all of us. Whether you give more power to the private sector, a bunch of crony capitalist dogs, or more power to the most oppressive government in history, either way you lose. You see, this is part of Western culture. Now, I'm not racist. I look at the culture. White people who take on a decent culture, I have no problem with them. White people who use psychiatry and the government to force their way on people, I have a problem with them. Now, when I say Western culture, I don't care if you're a surfer and you like to say dude. I think we all know what I mean when I say Western culture. Thank you.